Welcome to our Google Plus Hangout. We're joined by delegates from around the country. They represent states like South Carolina, Florida, Missouri. Let's hear about what your experiences have been so far. Matt Tharp, you're from Columbia, Missouri. Did you get to hear President Bill Clinton speak last night?
Yeah, I did. It was the highlight so far. It was a fantastic speech.
And did you have any trouble getting into the arena? We've heard that it got filled to capacity at one point. And what was so great about the speech?
So I was able to get in pretty early. We had our congressman speaking earlier in the evening, so I was sure to be there for that. I would say that it was interesting how social media kind of played into when the convention did end up filling up. We kind of heard that a little bit earlier, and you saw that breaking in the media about 5 to 10 minutes after, word of mouth through Twitter and Facebook had circulated among the delegates. And what I liked so much about President Clinton's speech was just how practical a speech it was. He told the truth, which sometimes is not very common in politics, and so I think we all appreciated that.
And Summer Greene from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, good to see you again. Summer, it sounded like you had a little more trouble getting into the arena. Tell us about your story and how it all played out.
Well, it was the only negative of the night, and it worked out, but the security lines were pretty long last night, much more than the night before, and when we finally got through security, we found out that the Time Warner Center was basically on lockdown. The doors were locked. Nobody was really communicating as to what was going on, and we were out there for about 45 minutes, and of course the crowd grew and grew and grew. Eventually they opened the doors, we all got our seats, and the rest of the night was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
And why was it so amazing to you, Summer?
Well, I got time to hear Sandra Fluke speak first, and I thought she was excellent and had a very compelling message for the people in the arena and also the people out there listening. Elizabeth Warren was super. Christina, who's from my neck of the woods in Miami, Hispanic, great messaging. And then Bill Clinton, I mean, how much better does it get? He had humor. I was able to see the teleprompter. So I had the advantage of seeing where he was ad-libbing, and he ad-libbed quite a bit. I think Hillary said she had an opportunity to see his speech prior to and then the actual delivered version. He might have spoken just a little bit too long, but at the end of the day, he understands how to communicate to the average American and help them get it. And he spoke about cooperation. It really made me proud to understand compromise. I think one of the biggest lines was that he learned not to hate. I thought, wow, that is so powerful. That's what we talk about all the time, the polarization of our members of Congress. I loved it.
Jamie Harrison, Vice Chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party from Columbia, South Carolina. What were your impressions of the former president's speech last night?
Oh, I thought the president was amazing. He did a wonderful job, and everybody in the arena, the energy in the arena from just watching him deliver his message, it's just absolutely amazing. Like I said earlier, he was a master teacher, and everybody in that arena, and I think everyone watching at home, were his students, and it is also amazing as someone who loves to watch great politicians and great orators. He read the energy of that arena so well, and that was, I think, also added to the ad lib, because those moments where he really wanted to emphasize things and really hype up the crowd, he added in a little of that Arkansas folksy, and it was just amazing.
All right, let's hear from Cindy Circo. We haven't gotten to hear from you yet today, Cindy. We talked to you yesterday, though. How are you feeling today compared to yesterday? What did you take away from last night?
Well, I got a little bit more sleep last night just because I had to. I was exhausted. But I had a different experience. I got to the arena a little bit early, got right in. I wanted to make sure that I got to see my Congressman Cleaver deliver his speech about being proud to be colored liberal. It was a really exciting time to see the whole entire stadium stand up for our congressman and not just the Missouri delegation, as he really got the crowd going. But then I had to go meet some people for dinner, and I was going to come back to watch Clinton speak. And we ran into an intern that's with the Missouri delegation who hasn't gotten into the arena yet. And I gave him my floor pass. And
Cindy, you're breaking up on us just a little bit. We really want to hear what you have to say.
I said we stayed at the restaurant, and it emptied out at the speech time, and the only people left were the wait staff and the bus and the bartenders, and they all stood there in front of the television watching. It's a different experience that they were doing it because they were excited. They weren't part of the delegation where we were all there together with the same like mind. This was a group of people that live and work here and were just as excited to watch President Clinton deliver that speech. And it was really amazing. I tweeted a picture of them. As a matter of fact, before I took it, I said, "Do you guys mind?" And no, they're in their uniforms and just complete stop. The restaurant had completely stopped and watching the speech on television. So it was an impromptu experience, but it was really a unique one.
So you were saying that you gave your pass to an intern. Is that what you said?
Yes, I did.
And have you gotten to talk to that intern yet?
I ran into his buddy this morning that said that he was still flying high. He wanted me my pass that I had, and I let him put it so he can have it for a souvenir. So he's just so thrilled to be here, just the experience, and then to actually get into the arena, he was elated.
So Matt Tharp, you're 20 years old, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so your first convention, we heard from Cindy that one of her young colleagues here from Missouri was just elated by this experience. How has your time been here, and how have you felt being a young person here in Charlotte?
Yeah, it's just been incredible how welcoming everyone's been and how many opportunities there are for young people in Charlotte. It definitely feels like the most inclusive. I've never been to a convention before, but it feels very inclusive. And we have our own youth council that will actually be meeting for the second time. We met for the second time yesterday, and got to hear from some really fantastic speakers. And I'm just loving every minute of it. It's going to be a little sad to go back to everyday life, back to school, and back to Missouri.
Jamie Harrison, what do the delegates take back? I mean, we just heard from Matt this feeling of what happens next. Since you've experienced the Democratic Party for a while and your role in South Carolina, what kind of energy do you have to take back, and what happens after you go home?
Oh, well, I mean, we are very much energized. As the saying that started in South Carolina goes, we are fired up and ready to go. When our delegation leaves to go back, we are going to go and continue to register voters. We are also going to start doing some more volunteer shifts to help out our brothers and sisters here in North Carolina, because they're one of the battleground states. So we'll be sending Democrats from South Carolina up to North Carolina every weekend to help with phone and door knockings, because we want to get President Obama and Vice President Biden reelected. So we are very much energized. It's been 2 amazing nights, starting off with First Lady Michelle Obama, who is just magical, and then building off of President Bill Clinton last night, and we are so excited, very, very excited to see President Barack Obama tonight.
Summer Greene, has this lived up to your expectations?
It's exceeded my expectations. And, I came here somewhat frustrated. Many of the people Florida is a swing state. I'm a realtor. There are many realtors that are Democrats, and there are even more realtors that seem to be Republicans. My boss is a Republican, so we always have lively discourse as to what's happening out there. And my biggest frustration is I really haven't had any talking points, anything really to go back at him. We seem to never take the proactive. We wait until we have to defend a point. And one of the things that I got last night, listening to Clinton go point by point. Now I have talking points. Now I have something to go back. It's easier for me to explain healthcare. I'm energized. It exceeded my expectations, and I feel that we are now finally framing the discussion instead of being reactive.
And Matt Tharp, are you going to get to hear President Obama speak tonight? I mean, do you guys have a sense, really, of who's going to be able to get into the arena yet?
Yeah, as far as I understand it, at least for us, all of our delegates will be able to have a spot. So I will be able to hear the president, and I can't believe it. This will be the second time I've heard him speak. I heard him speak early in 2008 when he was still a long shot candidate in the primary. So I'm really excited to hear him speak for a second time.
And are there any issues, Matt, that you wanted to hear addressed more this week that haven't been really talked about in the speeches or the events you've been to?
Yeah, I mean, I think that something that's really on the mind of a lot of the delegates is marriage equality being on the platform for the first time ever, which is absolutely historic. And the fact that the president came out and led on the issue and kind of directed the party in a direction it had been slowly moving, over the past years. I can't believe I'm here for that, and it's something I'll remember for a really long time.
All right, well, we've got Matt from Columbia, Missouri, and we have Jamie, who's from Columbia, South Carolina. Jamie, final thoughts as we head into the president's speech tonight.
Well, I think President Clinton did a good job of setting the table, and now I think President Barack Obama is going to bring it down tonight, and we are all very, very excited. I think he's going to lay out his vision for the next 4 years. And I think President Clinton hit a message point right on the head, and I hope Democrats use this message point a lot, because I've been seeing it in all the interviews I've had. It took us 8 years to get into the financial crisis that we got into. And so therefore, this Republican thought and idea that we could get out of it in 4 is just a complete fallacy. And so we have to continue the positive policies that the Obama administration has undertaken over the past few years, because we're going to get out of this economy. I was in that meeting when Secretary Paulson in 2008 came to the Congress, because I was floor director for Mr. Clyburn and his majority whip. And so Paulson came to the meeting with the bipartisan leadership of the House of Representatives. And it was it was the scariest thing in my life, because these members who have all of the strength and gravitas were drop dead silent, because he basically laid out and said, if we don't do something, and if we don't do something now, this economy will crash, and it will have a ripple effect, and it will be much worse than it was in 1929 when we had the Great Depression. And so it's amazing just to see how the administration has taken an economy that was on the tip of teetering over, and taken the rest of the countries in the world with it, to bringing us back to 29 months of job growth. So I'm really, really excited to hear the president tonight.
Okay, and Cindy, are you going to get to the arena very early this evening so you can make sure you get a seat?
I will get there very early. I have my credentials. I'm excited, and I was kind yesterday, but I'm keeping for myself tonight. So yeah, excited. I think Democrats were hungry for the message, and there's been so much going on that it's hard to articulate that many different points. But it's been consistent and laid out every night this week. I think it gives us the words and the verbiage to be able to go back and have intelligent conversations with the people in home states. And then the energy. The energy has been amazing, and I think we'll cap that off tonight with the president. He's a great speaker himself, and it's been every single night. There has been amazing speeches. So it's just going to be a huge accumulation of that tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it, because President Obama has his own charisma, his own ability to articulate that is special and unique. So I don't think anybody's going to be able to top him, and it's going to be exciting to see him pull it off.
Thanks so much to the delegates who've joined our Google Plus Hangout. Thanks for sharing your stories, guys, and we look forward to perhaps catching up with you in the weeks to come. Take care.
Thanks.